Well, for some of the like the Landsat scenes, you have to be pretty zoomed in to see Landsat, and this is Landsat. So it's good to zoom, fairly well in. You can click satellite if you want to get the satellite imagery. Now, this is a very important step. Once you've zoomed in to where you like, make sure to choose train a classifier. And then you have to do this first. You don't have to do it first, but if you don't do it first, then you have to do some extra steps that are kind of silly. So it's a good idea to do this first. So raise your hand if you're not here. All right, cool. All right, so train classifier. This guy should pop up. And next we're going to add data. We're going to add that percentile composite. So when you click on add data, you get this window, and we're going to choose this percentile composite. And once you've chosen that, here, your screen should look like this. And the first thing you do when you get here is to set that as an input data. Good. Anyone stuck on anything? Loading. Okay. So set this input and then set some times. So with this application, you can put up 365 days. So you can put a year in here, or you could do sort of a month for 12 years. If to do that, it's in the advanced setting, but let's not mess with that. Let's just put a year's worth of data. Since we're looking at Landsat 7, you can only go far back as 1999. So stay, around in the 2000s. And once you have your days that you like, you can save. And it will start loading in. But you can do this next step before it's loaded in. So the next step is to go back to add data. You don't have to wait for the whole thing to come in. So add data. And you get that same box again, but this time we're going to add hand-drawn points and polygons. Good. Once you click hand-drawn points and polygons, you'll get this kind of window and set this to training data. So these are going to be our training points. And then save. If you're not seeing this, it's because you haven't chosen to run a classifier, right? So if you're pulling this up and it doesn't have this option, that's because you didn't do this first. So all you need to do to get these options to show up is to choose this. And then you go back and set the train data and input data. So once you've set it as training data, now you add classes. So you can add two classes and name them. Right, so you click on the plus over there to add new classes, and then click on the add class to add the class. So you can add two, you can add more if you want. Two is a good place to start. And you can name them if you want. If you don't want to name them, you don't have to. And once you have those, then click on the point tool and add some points. So you can add, as many as you want. And then last but not least, choose train a classifier and enjoy the results. So I'll go around, make sure everybody's all right. And if you are, then there's some playtime. Here are some suggestions. You can pan around to see the model being applied to places where you haven't visited before. You can try using polygons instead of points. And you can try adding different layers to the workspace. So to do that, click back on the Data Catalog tab here and choose another data set to go in. And then you can hit Train a Classifier and it'll do another training. It'll train up a new classifier. And another fun thing to do is try different classifiers to see what the difference is between CART and naive Bayes. So play around. Also, if you have any questions, enjoy. Few other features that are going to be useful. one thing is, if you put down a point, so and I don't like them, you can, once you've exited, you can click on the point and delete it. Or you can move it. So if you want to change a point, just make sure you're not in the point editor. So exit the point editor and, well, the point, yeah, enterer. And then click on it to delete it. So that's one thing. And another thing I didn't mention is there's this manage workspace up here. If you want to save your session and you want to be able to go back to exactly what you had done in the past, under manage workspace, there's import export. If you click on that, it opens this window with this huge text file. And this exactly defines what your session is. So you can copy that and paste it into some text field, word processing thing. And then if you want to come back to it, just paste it back in here and hit import. So it's a good way to share what you're doing with people. And you can save your workspace. So if you want to save the one that you have now, you can save it, and the next time you come to the application, it'll remember the current one.
You can only save one at a time, right?
Yeah, only one will be saved. So if you want to save multiple ones, you need to put them in text file somewhere.
One question we had was, why in some areas is there just no data? Maybe like before certain years or locations, and I know that's a long answer, but
yeah.
What to do if like they choose a layer and they go to an area that has no data?
Yeah, so the reasons for there being no data depends on what the data set you're looking at is. So in some cases it's because the satellite just wasn't up at that point. So Landsat 5 is a great satellite, but it stopped sending information last November. This thing was great. It had a 3-year lifespan. It lasted 25 years. It's fantastic, but just last November it stopped sending information. So that one ends. So if you're looking for data from Landsat 5 in 2012, you're out of luck. Sometimes it's just because it's just been so cloudy, there are no good data points. There are places in the world that are like that, where you need sort of 3 years worth of data. For those places in this interface, the thing to do is to choose some months that you're interested in. So if you have sort of 3 months that you're mostly interested in, you can focus on those 3 months and get multiple years from those 3 months, 4 years of data over those 3 months. And if that isn't enough, we're working now on sort of annual composites, multi-year composites that you'll be able to use, and those will be pretty soon. But currently, with this interface, you kind of have to do that month game.
Click on the, I don't know if you'll have it, click on the color, that little square. Change the color there, I'm not sure if it'll, well, it'll be whatever color, yeah. This polygon was your red, so click on red. Yeah, but you must have clicked under on one, but it must have been the red one highlighted. So try changing the red square. Can you draw a polygon? Maybe there's no. That's yeah. And you can tell there's no.
Any other questions for me now? And if anybody wants to try, you can download yourself, upload it to Maps Engine.
Oh yeah.
Credit.
No,
어떻게 했어?